Nowadays, most people cannot sit without some form of stimulation. They always have their headphones 24/7. They are always scrolling on your phone, or they're basically checking their phone frequently, and they're excuse me, they're basically stimulating their mind. They're basically having some form of stimulation all the time. And the problem it creates is that constant stimulation prevents self-awareness. People are not even aware of what they're actually doing, and they're basically just like robots. The problem is not just that it is affecting your productivity, but it is actually affecting your thoughts, your own beliefs, your own identity. As I've said in the earlier video as well, nobody is actually trying to basically sit alone with their thoughts nowadays. They just want constant stimulation all the time. Even if they are eating, they want to watch a YouTube video. Even if, like, seriously, even if it's so funny that people need stimulation all the time, that even while studying, people would listen to music, saying that it increases their productivity and focus. Maybe for some people it does, but vast majority of the people who listen to music while studying are basically for, getting some sort of stimulation rather than actually focusing. And in this time period where basically boredom is almost extinct, people were basically stimulating every single second of your life. People, do not have their own thoughts. And if you really look back into time, people used to sit with boredom. Like, boredom was a natural phenomenon, and nowadays it is like some sort of, some sort of very rare thing. And people even feel very proud once they stay bored for even a half an hour. Like, seriously, it's so funny that people are like, oh, I generally didn't do anything and I was bored for 30 minutes. Like, they're basically proud of that shit, which is kind of pretty much fascinating, you can say, to be honest, in this time. But still, we have actually forgot how we actually used to live, and boredom is really, really necessary. And the reason why silence feels uncomfortable is probably because once you're in a silent state, once you are actually alone and alone with your thoughts, where you're basically bored, it reveals anxiety, your loneliness, your insecurity. You have lack of direction, and you start overthinking about stuff, and you generally do not enjoy that thing. And it's kind of funny, like, how people nowadays basically just consume social media. And you might have already seen this kind of videos hundreds of times, but the point of this video is that not just that it affects your attention span, or just which you already probably know, you have heard it from hundreds of thousands of people online, that it affects your attention span, and you're ruining your attention span. The real problem with always stimulating your brain 24/7 and never really sitting alone, basically where you're never actually feeling bored, is that you do not have your own thoughts. Alright, you do not have your own clarity. You basically lack clarity. And you might realize these things if you're one of those guys who basically are always getting stimulated in some form. You might experience lack of creativity, where you feel extremely uncomfortable feeling bored. Not just that it affects your attention span, that when you're basically stimulating your brain all the time, it also removes creativity, and it also removes your thoughts, basically leading to lack of clarity, as I said earlier. I think it's really important that we start making ourselves feel bored once again, and remove stimulation as much as we could. Not just for attention span, which is also pretty much important for focus work and other stuff like that, but for actually having your own thoughts and actually having creativity and actually improving your life in some form by boosting your creativity and having your own thoughts. So answer it honestly, when was the last time you sat down and you basically have your own thought without escaping them? Just think about it. If your mind needs constant noise all the time, what is it trying to avoid? And the answer to that might actually help you solve your problem with your lack of clarity or loneliness or overthinking. I hope this video is helpful to you in some way. If you have any thoughts for this video or any problems with your life, you can definitely leave it down in the comments. Until then, stay disciplined.